Let me get here. I got something you need to hear. Turn the volume up so it's loud and clear. A podcast where we talk about politics and culture unscripted, no limits. Like a 504 soldier, we're not pretenders, ain't no agendas. Our only plan is to keep it 100 and do it for the fam. Yeah. What up, what up, what up?
What's going on?
Same old same. I'm 6 Mil, keeping it trill.
It's your boy KG.
Welcome to episode 18 of For the Fam podcast.
Yes, sir. Almost at the 20.
Almost there. How you been, brother? How you feeling?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Can't complain. Couldn't sleep last night, but, slept. I think I slept till about noon today, man.
Really?
Yeah. I may have woke up, once or twice, but actually getting out of the bed, I think it was like 11:50.
Yeah, that's good, bro. I'm happy for you.
I say you already about 3-4 hours in the work.
Man, for real though. Yeah, let me see. Around that time, I'm like maybe at the halfway point. Yeah, that's wild, bro. I long for days like that. I cannot do it.
I was tripping though when I woke up. I was like, oh man, come on. Slept half the day away. Then I spent the next 2 hours cleaning out the oven, man.
You don't got self-clean on that joint?
Oh no, man, you don't use self-clean.
Why?
That's a whole different conversation to have.
I always use self-clean, bro.
I would stop if I was you.
All right, well, yeah, that's definitely a conversation for another day. Yeah. So anyway, what we gonna get into today?
We want to talk about the cost of education, kind of like, as you were mentioning last week, a continuance of that conversation.
Yeah, for sure. And I think if we do this properly, it'll be somewhat enlightening because I think this is an aspect of education that is often overlooked. And what I was alluding to last week when I was saying that, education isn't equally applied, I guess that's some of the myths or whatever you want to call it, some of the things that we want to debunk today with this conversation. So yeah, with that being said, bro, let's go ahead and jump into it.
Especially for us in the Midwest.
Oh, well, naturally, I always look at things from a racial aspect first.
Well, in the Midwest, you have to.
And yes, there is a racial component, but just like the fraud and the white collar crime conversation we had, I think it's more of a socioeconomic than it is a racial problem. You know what I'm saying? I think it's more of just a class issue more than. Don't get me wrong. There is always going to be a racial component. This is America, but I think it affects poor people in general.
Yeah,
more. Well, I won't say more than, but almost equally.
So the only pushback I'll give you, because I agree with you about 80%, is the. You know what? No, because then I'm gonna give away what we're gonna talk about. I'll bring it up later.
All right, cool.
Don't let me forget.
Cool. All right, let's go ahead and jump into it then. Oh, okay. Well, like I was saying, I just want to touch on how education can be used as a gateway, not a gateway. Well, sort of a gateway, but also used like a gatekeeping mechanism for lower class people, impoverished people. I don't know if any of those terms are offensive nowadays, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. Poor people. Basically, if you have wealth, it's easier for you to ascend regardless of your education, as opposed to if you don't have wealth, it's still really hard for you to ascend. And on top of that, just getting the education itself is also tied to your bank account, to whether or not you're affluent enough to even get the proper education, to get the degrees, to get the certificates, to network with the proper people so you can get the job that you are chasing.
So there's a statistic. So a black family headed by a college graduate has less median wealth than a white family headed by a high school dropout. Think about that. So if you're in a home, you have 2 college graduates and you're in a black household, there's a good chance there's a white household with a college dropout who's doing better than you are. Does it mean he's smarter than you? Absolutely not.
Oh, definitely not. I'll never ever say that.
It goes back to what you were just talking. It's the funding, the socioeconomic, the different policies of the past, Jim Crow laws in the South, vastly underfunded black schools during that time. You know, you integrated the students. You took that student and allowed them to go to that school, but that didn't change that black family's bank account just because they're sitting in the same. So they may not have access to some of the same tutoring,
Sure.
and so on and so forth.
Sure,
that
absolutely.
the other family had.
Absolutely. So let's hit on a couple of other things. Spending disparities, which is kind of what you were just going over. Schools in high poverty districts, they don't receive the same amount of funding as wealthy districts. We talked about that briefly on the last podcast. Buying power, where, and we talked about this on the last podcast also when we were talking about AI. A wealthier school has better equipment, better computers, more access, better textbooks, extracurricular activities, tutoring. So all of those things that you were just saying, teacher quality, lower income schools.
In the go ahead. I lost my
Okay.
place.
No, it's cool. Lower income schools get, gosh, I don't, because it's such a general statement that I almost feel like it's wrong to say, but because a school can offer a higher salary, the better teachers are going to those schools as opposed to poor districts getting, and I don't want to say lesser quality of teachers, but kind of a lesser quality of a teacher, or maybe a teacher that's not willing
No, I know what you mean. Yeah.
to go the extra mile because they're just like, it's just a job and I don't want to be here anyway. It makes me think of Lean On Me, to be honest.
So I got 2 statistics, and I'll just use where we stay now. IPS is roughly 85% student. Roughly 85% of the students are black or Latin, but only about 26% of the teachers across the entire state of Indiana are black. Across Indiana, the teacher workforce is 92% white. Also, research shows that if a black student has just one black teacher by the 3rd grade, their likelihood of going to college jumps significantly.
Just from a black student having one black teacher.
And I'm going to use this as an example. When the twins were in school, of course, the teacher they had called it acting up, and I'm using air quotes. They switched classes and had a black teacher. We never got another phone call that entire year of their 1st grade year. Not a single phone call.
Interesting.
Not one. However, we received 3 to 4 a week with the other teacher. Same behavior, 2 different ways to deal with it. Now, why are we bringing that up? Because that causes a rift and a problem as the kids get older. If they go to school and they're constantly being sent to the principal's office and what they feel like being treated badly by a white teacher, I don't know what the statistics are, but I'm pretty sure there's a pretty good chance that these kids are going to be like, man, the hell with school. I'm done.
Well, yeah, I can see that, and I mean, isn't that sort of just like a cultural issue? You know what I'm saying? Not saying that is right or wrong, but you can relate.
Yeah.
That teacher can relate, and you can relate to that teacher. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to someone who don't know, don't understand, maybe don't even care, and they're just looking at it as a paycheck. So
I
to
don't think
speak.
people understand that, man. Like seeing somebody that looks like your mother
Representation.
or your father.
Sure.
And it doesn't, and this goes for white folks,
Sure.
black folks.
Sure.
Seeing someone who looks like the person who's raising you may help a lot.
For sure. For sure. For sure. No, yeah, I agree. People underestimate the importance of representation, not just in school. I think in many aspects of life, just seeing someone like you, especially if you're trying to achieve something.
feeling like that person's gonna understand the struggles of
For sure.
that job that you're at
For sure.
or whatnot.
And most likely they can. I mean, because, a lot of times when we ascend, and you know this as well as I, we're the only one, quote unquote, in a particular environment.
Mhm.
So yeah, it does make you feel good to see someone else that looks like you, that you can relate to. Like, you'll understand my concerns. And it does give you a little bit of boost, a little confidence boost, because you're like, okay, somebody, yes, a familiar.
Which which I went through in my previous job. Remember when
Yes,
they brought him in, I was like, "Oh my god,
correct,
man!" And what happened? Within 3 months, I was a regional operations
correct,
manager.
correct.
Before he got there, I felt like I was stuck in purgatory.
You were.
He got there and was like, "Well, wait, why is this guy not running these
Right.
2 areas?" And he got there and boom, it was done.
Interesting. Interesting. So we already know that college tuition is way too high.
Uh-huh.
We already know because of capitalism that'll probably never change.
No, because of Reagan, it'll never change. And
It,
he been dead a long time.
yeah, yeah. And it when politicians say American students are falling behind globally,
There's a reason.
there's a reason for it. Most advanced countries, they offer college for free.
And look out for their fellow citizens.
Exactly. So it's like, how do you expect American kids to stay up with the competition when we have to pay for everything? Success comes with a price. And it's like, if we want this conversation to change, perhaps we need to start looking at some of these social programs, stop trying to demonize them, and actually start to implement and apply them. Because, like we were talking about, the networking, right? If let's just put it out there. Nepotism, you got to know somebody. Those things factor greatly into your success, especially when it comes to getting a job.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter how educated you are in a lot of cases. It doesn't matter how intelligent you are. If you don't know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, you're not getting in the door. You're not even going to get looked at.
Nope.
So, in order to get in those social circles, if you will, it takes money, because you got to be able to hang out with the social club type people, if that makes sense.
And half of these students, are C students.
Yeah,
Just because their parents are billionaires
for sure, for
donated
sure.
money.
Not even billionaires, just affluent, period, right? And it becomes the homeboy hookup. Hey, my son just graduated from such and such. But yeah, send him through. Be dumb as a box of rocks.
Mhm.
Now he's your boss though. And he's starting out with 6 figures at 25. And then looking at you going,
Why
what's wrong with you?
right, what's wrong with you?
Yeah,
It's like, man, get the hell out of here.
yeah, yeah.
And the problem too with tuition, even states that offer some level of free tuition for students. I'll just use Indiana because the twins were part of 21st Century Scholars.
Hmm.
If you don't sign up by the time you're done with 8th grade, you're locked out forever.
Right.
So there's always a catch. There's New York where they have the free tuition at some of those schools if you're making under 125 grand.
Hmm.
What the hell is $125,000 going to do nowadays? So if I make 125,001, that means that I can afford to send my child to college.
Right.
There's always a catch.
Correct.
Oh, you just missed it.
Correct.
Why not just offer me
Correct.
the ability to get a free education, even if it's just an associate's degree? Because if you can give me the opportunity to get an associate's degree, I'll handle the rest.
I got something to build on.
I'll work on scholarships for the remaining 2 years to get myself,
Hmm.
my 4-year degree.
Correct.
But there's always a catch.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. A few other points I guess I want to hit on real quick. And this is about earnings, right?
Mhm.
And you sort of touched on this. Households headed by someone with a bachelor's degree earn roughly 2.3 times more than those only with a high school diploma. Because education is considered a way for social mobility, a way to move up, low income students often are hit with something called intergenerational persistence of poverty. Basically, meaning if you're born in poverty,
Hmm.
chances are you're going to stay in poverty. And it goes back to the networking and not being able to have those social connections so you can get the good job. And listen, people, let's just get this out the way. We're not saying education isn't important. Actually, we're saying the opposite. We encourage you to get an education. We're not saying that it's all doom and gloom and none of it matters. What we are saying, what we're trying to show you is when you hear people talk about how the system is rigged, the system really is
Yeah.
rigged. Now, I think that, and if you go back and listen to some of our previous podcasts, I think there's a recurring theme that we're trying to show you that the system is rigged. Not saying it's impossible to beat. What we're trying to give you guys are the rules. You can't play the game unless you know the rules. That's what we're trying to accomplish here.
I mentioned in the beginning about the gap here in the Midwest.
Mhm,
So, Wisconsin, for example, they have the widest achievement gap
mhm,
between black and white students in the entire country.
mm,
So, graduation rates for black students in Wisconsin have trailed white students by nearly 30% in recent years.
interesting.
Now, it's not over the last 20 or 30 years, but just in the last, 5 to 10 years. Think about that.
Mhm,
A 30% decrease in a population.
mm,
Is it because you're smarter? Nah. 1 to 2%, we might be having a different conversation, but 30% shows that there's a problem.
correct.
There has to be. So when people say, well, that's just because they didn't want to do it or they had it. No, they have issues at home. There's different things going on at home where you've got a mother or a father working 3 and 4 jobs trying to make sure that their kids are doing well.
Correct.
But if you have that child they've lost that time with their parents, we can even take it a step further, especially like here in Indiana, not far from here. You go 3-4 miles west of here, you got students with no internet in the house.
Correct.
They're in parking lots at the library or McDonald's doing their homework. That shit matters.
For sure.
I can do my homework in my room in 30 minutes, or I can be at the library until 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, eating at 10 o'clock, taking a
Sure.
shower at
Sure.
11. That shit matters.
No, you're absolutely correct. To go back to what you were saying about the parents. If you come from a two-parent household and you're affluent, yeah, your parents may be there in the evening to help you with your homework.
Absolutely.
Or they may be able to pay for you to go see a tutor and you
Mhm.
get some extra help if needed, when needed, where needed, as opposed to a single parent household. If the parent is working multiple jobs, they're either too tired to help you with the homework or they're not there to help you with the homework. So yeah, all of that matters. The to move this to a college level. If you got to work and go to school,
Mm.
how stressful that is, how hard that is. I worked my way through college. It's hard. You're exhausted. I'm not saying that, and a lot of people do it. So my story isn't unique, but it's rough as opposed to when you can just school is the only thing on your plate. Yeah, you probably should get better grades because you don't have the same stress factors that I have. You don't have the distractions
Right.
that I have, so to speak, to pull me away from my study. So I can't focus on just school. I got to go to work. I got to deal with whatever nonsense I got to do at work. You know what I'm saying? I got bills due. It's a whole lot that goes into the success that's tied to where you come from and not just what you know.
So that takes it all the way back to what I was saying about the Jim Crow, how we can incorporate that back. We talk about redlining in previous podcasts. Veterans that came home from World War II. Most black GIs were not allowed to take advantage of the things that most white GIs were given. And kudos to those white GIs who came home, got themselves a home, and built equity. So here's where the difference lies. Those black families were not allowed to get those mortgages. And I'm not just speaking out my ass, people. Do some research. They were not allowed to get these loans because the insurance companies would not insure the mortgages. So the mortgage companies, even if they wanted to give these black GIs these mortgages, they couldn't because they couldn't get them insured. And what did that do? That pushed them into places like Cabrini Green, Robert Taylor Homes, Turner Park, Meadows, Columbia Center. Places that some of y'all like, what the hell are those places?
We
Those
know.
are the places where
just trust me, they're places you don't want to grow up in.
Correct. So when it's time for the granddaughter to go to Yale, Harvard, or hell, IUPUI.
Correct.
Granddad, grandma can write a check from built equity in that home, pay for that college so that child doesn't have to worry about anything. On the flip side of it, black or white or Hispanic, Chinese, it doesn't matter. When the family doesn't have a home that built that equity, they have to do exactly what you just said, work their way through college.
Correct.
It took and I'll use her as an example because we had kids early. It took my ex-wife, 10 years, 11, hell no, it might be longer than that, to finally finish school. Now I know life
because you got real life shit to deal with,
real
though.
life shit to do.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, I know what life got in the way. We had kids, all of that stuff, but there was a reason why she was taking classes part-time because she had to work. I had to work. If I could have, I would have told her, no, you're not working. You're going to go to school full-time. That's not that wasn't my reality.
It's not most of our reality,
correct,
though, bro. And that's the problem. Is most of us we're stuck, so to speak, because of what you just described, because life gets in the way. A lot of people don't finish school, not because it's too difficult as far as curriculum wise. They don't finish because they can't afford to.
Right.
It is, and that's just the bottom line. It has nothing to do with the curriculum. It has nothing to do with the level of intelligence. It has everything to do simply with affordability.
Bro, I'm 50. I have 90 credits. I never finished because I couldn't afford that fourth year. I have 90 credits.
I hear you, bro.
I have $22,000 in student debt. And I don't have a degree. Make that shit make sense.
It don't make sense. And you know what else don't make sense? Student loan forgiveness is unconstitutional. That's also some shit that don't make sense.
Unless you want to be an ICE agent.
Then, god damn it.
Sorry, y'all. We had to throw that in.
Man, anything else you want to add to this, bro?
I do. So, for everybody listening that thinks that we're just two guys sitting here talking about racial disparities over and over again, these are the things that we live. These are the things that we talk about while, like, throughout the week when we try to discuss and figure out what we're going to do for the next podcast. We're trying to get people to understand it's not about just black and white. It is about rich and poor.
Correct.
Because the poor people I'm referring to, I'm talking about white folks too.
For sure. Which is why I was saying in the beginning that I think it's more of a socioeconomic issue.
Absolutely.
As opposed to a race issue.
Here's the biggest difference. Most black, and I'm not saying all white people are like this. Most black folks recognize it, realize that there's something that needs to be done.
Correct.
And then they vote accordingly or move a certain way.
Correct.
Whereas a lot of poor white people don't understand or realize that they're blaming the wrong people
Correct.
for their concern. Like,
Correct.
if you start holding the politicians locally to you accountable,
Mm-hmm.
maybe you will get that 2 years of community college. Well, no, maybe we all can
Correct.
get that 2
Correct.
years of community college for free, like a lot of states offer. There's a lot of
Yes.
states in the
Yes.
Southwest that offer 2-year community college free as long as you're a resident with no catches.
No catch.
You just go to school.
I couldn't agree with you more, bro. I'm with you 100% on that. All right, cool. I think we've basically hit everything we wanted to hit on this topic as it relates to the cost of education. So we're going to slide right into some current events. What you got, my brother?
So, so I want to talk about something that happened today. The tariffs that have been, sorry, y'all, we got the game on in the background and 2 crazy plays just happened like within 40 seconds of each other. The tariffs that Trump proposed today on Truth Social. So he's going to be hitting 8 countries with tariffs.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, if they don't just roll over and allow him to steal a country.
Correct.
Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, the UK, the Netherlands, and Finland. So 10% tariffs will start on February 1st and escalates to 25% if no deal is reached by June 1st, 2026. So this is for tariffs for all goods exported to the U.S. from these nations. So his rationale is that the U.S. must own Greenland to build his so-called Golden Dome missile defense system, claiming it's vital for global safety. No, it's vital for minerals, but I digress. So he's framed this as something to stop Russia and China from getting a foothold in the Arctic. And again, as I mentioned last week, this has been going on for 160 plus years.
Hold on, bro. China and Russia ain't thinking about the damn Greenland.
No, they are.
They ain't
But
trying to.
not
They
in
ain't trying
this
to
way.
take that though. But
Right.
but anyway, go ahead, bro.
Not in this way.
Yeah.
So I mean, are they in the area? Absolutely. Do they want to have boats and all this shit offshore? Absolutely. But you're right. This dude is just like, nah, we the US. Everybody else can kick rocks.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I used to puff my chest out with that. Like, man, we the US, we big and bad. But when you get older and you realize, yo, we are alienating the hell out of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to do nothing but harm us in the long run.
Correct.
I know I said last week that NATO probably would do nothing. I was wrong.
Yeah.
Because about an hour after I said it, I was like,
they sent troops.
I said,
they're ready to get down.
They like, hey, we're going to send some people here. And it wasn't a lot of people, but we're going to send some people here for some training exercises to show you that we're there.
Yeah.
You're not going to just do this. I don't personally think that it's going to be fought with weapons. And I'll tell you why in my rart.
All right, cool. It is interesting that you brought that up as your current event because I was actually going to talk about the same thing. And since you've already touched on the major talking points, I'll just piggyback off of that and say, like we've said plenty of times in the past, a tariff is a tax on the U.S. Putting tariffs on those countries does not do anything to curb their enthusiasm. It just doesn't. They don't pay it. It's not a punishment. It's not a negotiating tactic. We are going to pay those tariffs. The other thing about that is we think the economy's bad now. Most of the tariffs haven't even kicked in yet. So when those tariffs do start to kick in, that's when you think groceries are going up just this year? Wait until this time next year. You'll really be like, wow, we're getting screwed by tariffs. But I digress. What I really want to talk about in terms of these new tariffs and Greenland, at what point do we say, or Republicans say, it's time to invoke the 25th Amendment? This guy is clearly off his rocker.
He's not well.
Clearly,
You could see it on TV every time.
clearly he's off his rocker. You're talking about taking Greenland by force. What? They're an ally. We have military bases there already. They've already said, if you want more bases, put them up.
You got it.
Yeah, we don't care.
Just leave us the hell alone and
Just
let us
leave us
continue to live in
alone.
peace.
The whole thing makes no sense. It makes no sense logistically. It makes no security sense. Like you're saying, the only thing it is about are the minerals that's there, which again is going to be hard to extract because it's an iceberg. So even if you got those minerals, it'll be years before any of it benefits the US. So what are you doing? What's your real goal? And how does this make America great? It doesn't, other than the fact that you can point to another place that you've colonized and say, look at us, we're tough guys. Invoke the 25th Amendment, please.
Tonight.
Please invoke the 25th Amendment. That's all I got, bro, because I was going to talk about the same thing as far as the current event.
Okay.
So go ahead with your rant, bro. You want me to go?
Oh, I thought you was gonna introduce.
Oh, my no. We're not on 5 on the black hand side yet.
No, right.
Oh, I'm tripping. Gosh, man. Lord have mercy, Jesus. My bad, y'all. My brain is foggy today.
That's that cold. That cold's sneaking up.
It is, man. All right, y'all. It's time for everyone's favorite segment, or rant about a random topic. My bad, brother. Go ahead, man. Jump in.
So I want to talk about. We talked about the tariffs. We talked about Greenland, but I want to talk about a nightmare scenario. I mentioned last week Donald Trump is playing a game of Monopoly. He sees property, he bullies the other people, he tries to buy it. But here's the problem. You know who he's bullying? The people who hold our God-blessed mortgage. UK, France, Germany, and pretty much the rest of Europe wanted to cripple us, like really put us in like financial strain. They wouldn't need to send troops to Greenland. They wouldn't issue a letter, a sternly worded letter. They would just sell off our damn debt. So here's some things I looked up. So the Euro banking hubs and our Nordic allies, they hold somewhere between $2.5 to $3 trillion in U.S. Treasury bonds. They are funding our debt. So the nuclear option, if they decided to go this route, tomorrow morning, if they dumped $500 billion, the price of bonds would crash. The yields would explode. 10-year Treasury spikes and U.S. mortgage rates hit 12% overnight. Our housing market freezes immediately. Credit cards max out. Small business loans gone. Overnight.
Interesting.
So it wouldn't just be a recession. Like, we'd literally be
a depression.
Like, it'd be like cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
For the economy. So he's trying to acquire real estate by any means necessary when Europe has the power to burn the whole neighborhood down.
That's interesting, man.
Now, would they do it? Probably not, because it's basically mutually assured destruction.
That's what I say. It would probably affect them negatively also.
Well, yeah, it would crash the dollar, and they would depend on the U.S. Mint to print trillions and trillions of dollars to rescue it and then save them as well. But the problem is where do you put all that money?
Well, also the problem with just printing money is
that
it becomes well, I won't say meaningless. It devalues it.
Right.
Basically. So it becomes a peso.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah. So that's the problem with just printing money. Our dollar is only, which is not the strongest currency, but it's only as strong as it is because other countries accept it as being strong.
Right.
But if other countries, like you were saying, decided to just not mess with us, then the dollar becomes meaningless, valueless, pointless. And there you go.
So, real quick, I just want to add this one small part where the nuclear option wouldn't really work. I mean, there is no alternative, really, for them to crash us and be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, if you sell, like France, for example, $500 million in US debt, if they try to put the cash in China, there's no gold. I mean, it's too risky. Gold market is too small. And the US dollar is the only thing is the only game in town, basically.
Mm.
So if you crash it purposely, and that's the thing, Trump is banking on, yeah, they're not that stupid.
Yeah.
You think so? To finish dealing with you, I'd probably crash it and go into a depression. I'd say to hell with it. And I know that sounds silly as hell, but we're the ones living through this stupid. Oh man,
You see what?
I have to talk about that dude too.
I know. You see what the Nobel Prize Committee came out and said, bro? Like, we don't care if she gave you that award, bro. She's still the winner. Like we're going to write in history that she won the Nobel Prize and you did not. So her giving you that is purely symbolic.
So there's two people in history that have been gifted Nobel Prizes that didn't win it. Would you like to know who the other person is?
Yes.
Joseph Goebbels. Let that shit sink in. Hitler's right-hand man.
Correct.
The architect.
Correct.
Of the concentration camps. Again,
Who gave?
I can't remember. When I saw that, I didn't even bother to look. And again, people, I'm not saying Donald Trump's going to build concentration camps. That's not what I'm saying. What people need to understand.
Well, hold on.
Let me finish. What people need to understand, what we like to point out on this podcast, and when we speak in general, this is how it starts. We don't even have to use Germany. We can use Italy. We can use, hell, any place that has colonized other places throughout history. And guess what we're doing? We're doing the same thing a lot of other people did, screaming from the rooftops.
Correct.
And no one is listening.
Correct. And I'm not making a one-to-one comparison, but I'm just saying one could kind of consider Alligator Alcatraz a concentration camp. That's all I wanted to point out. All right, y'all, cool. You finished with that, bro?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I want to talk about, with this being MLK weekend, I want to talk about MLK Day and how when we were kids growing up where we're from, how they had the march
I used to love that.
from City Hall to Civic Center.
Yeah.
Used to be cold as hell out there.
Absolutely.
But they had the march. We out there with the candles.
Yeah.
And singing "We Shall Overcome" to commemorate MLK Day. And I kind of disappointed that this city doesn't have something like that, but kind of feel like as the years go on, it's sort of losing its importance. I mean, like when we were young, there would always be like the MLK movies that came on MLK Day. And now it's just like, what, you want to have NBA games and they wear MLK shirts? Like, yeah, okay, that's cool and all, but don't let people forget what this man stood for, his accomplishments, and his message.
And what he sacrificed.
And I think that that's all relevant and important. And I just want to say, if you have time this weekend, actually like sit down and just do a little bit of studying on MLK. Don't just look up "I Have a Dream." Yes, that's a great speech. It's not the only speech. Look up some of his social speeches and how he wasn't, what's the word I want to use here? He was more about demanding like a wealth equity than people realize. I'm not going to say he was out here demanding reparations, but he was definitely about closing that wealth gap. And I think that's the part of MLK that people don't realize and they don't see a lot because that's not what the media wants to portray. They always want to portray the just Gandhi like, can't we all just get along? Man should be judged by the content of his skin. I mean, by the not by the color of his skin, but the content of his character. They always want to throw that out, and they don't talk about how this man really was like, America, you owe black people, and at some point you're gonna have to pay up.
He was probably also the most hated person in this country when he died. And most people don't realize that he was. Like, he was one of the most hated people in this country when he was killed.
Mm-hmm.
Hated.
Mm-hmm.
Labeled as a communist.
Mm-hmm.
These people today running around praising him on MLK Day would have their ancestors, their grandparents hated him too.
Correct. and 9 times out of 10 would have been out there marching against him. 100% would have been out there on that bridge in Alabama cracking heads like the mother people, and all this man wanted was equality and peace.
And I think what gets lost a lot is segregation, like wanting things not to be segregated. I think there were a lot of people that time that thought that black people wanted to move into your neighborhood to be you. No. What we're saying is that if I want to eat at that restaurant,
I should have the right.
Who the hell are you to tell me
right
that I can't eat there? That's what it was about. It
Right.
wasn't trying to be you.
No.
If I want to come out of my neighborhood and get a piece of pie at that diner around the corner that's always packed with people, you shouldn't be able to tell me that I can't get a piece of pie.
Just because I'm black. Yeah. And also the affirmative action part of it. Don't discriminate against me because I'm black as to where I can't get a job. I should be allowed to get an education, the Ruby Bridges case, just like anybody else. It wasn't about, why are y'all black kids trying to come to this white school? It's about, I should get the same education that y'all get, not a less education.
Well, the racial
because I'm black.
The racial disparities, yeah, it was forcing me to come over here to try to go to this school because you've already implemented laws that make home value.
Right.
I mean, those laws were implemented because to increase funding at white schools.
Right.
These are facts.
And I know you wanted to bring this up, so I'm gonna lead you to it. Where did he graduate from? What college?
Who? King?
Okay.
Morehouse.
Correct.
Yeah.
Does that mean his education was less than?
I mean, according to some people, it does. To me, it just means he was able to be himself and develop into who he ended up being.
So, and I don't know what his degree is in. I don't know his field of study, but whatever his field of study was, is less than the same field of study from Harvard.
No.
I mean, it's the same textbooks, right?
He also went to that's right. He went to Boston University as well.
But it's the same textbook, same information.
Yeah. So he got his Bachelor of Arts from Sociology at Morehouse, and then he got his theological degree from Boston University. So he studied theology at Boston University.
Yeah. No, cool. It's just, basically insane that we're just trying to say that.
And he was a 15-year-old college student.
Correct. Which shows his level of intelligence. That to get back to the gatekeeping, right? Why does that degree from Harvard or Yale weigh more than a degree from Morehouse or Spelman or Grambling? You know what I'm saying? If we're getting the same information, why are you considered more of an intellect than these people?
The largest group of people to benefit from affirmative action are Ivy League schools. And I'm going to throw USC in there. Hell, I'll even throw Notre Dame in there, as much of a Notre Dame fan as I am. If my father went there, send him on. Yeah, he'll get he'll get pushed to the front. Now, some of these kids of these, people that have graduated are coming in there with 4.0s, and I
Sure,
get that.
sure.
But
But
they
some
might
of them are coming in just based on legacy.
right. But they may not have gotten a look from that school. Because like Notre Dame, USC, Michigan, like we talked on the phone the other day, places like Michigan, those are prestigious universities to get into.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of students with 4.0 GPAs that get turned away from those schools every single day.
Mm-hmm.
But if your father or your mother graduated from those
Correct.
schools, they're going to give you an opportunity.
The legacy admissions, without a doubt.
Which is what affirmative action is. It gives you the opportunity where you normally wouldn't be able to.
No.
You and I talk about Joy Reid a lot. Joy Reid, prime example, 4.1 or 4.2 GPA in high school.
No.
The only way she was able to go to Harvard is because of affirmative action. Now, here's why I'm saying that. What I mean by that. You guys listening might say, oh, well, see, yeah, affirmative action. That's the only reason she. No, it allowed her to be seen by
when she
Harvard,
wouldn't otherwise been seen.
where she otherwise wouldn't have been seen because her spot may have gone to a celebrity's child.
Correct.
So affirmative action, she belonged at Harvard.
Correct.
She deserved to be there.
Correct. But
legacy would have.
They would flip that and say that's reverse racism because I should be there just because. Just because. And there's no way that this black person
deserves to be
there and I don't.
Just because she's from a small town in Colorado.
Yeah, but what if they got better grades than you? What if they tested better than you?
Which she did.
But that doesn't matter. I'm supposed to be there. Yeah. It makes no sense, bro. On its face, it makes no sense. And I gotta say it. Shout out to the Asian community. Y'all played yourselves.
Man, because the admissions in Ivy League schools for Asian students, I forget the percentage, but it has dropped.
Played yourselves. Played yourselves. Y'all got used.
And then tried to sue.
Correct.
To get into I forget the guy's name, trying to get back into Harvard. It was like, well, wait a minute. You said that it was beneficial for black folk.
Right.
But as soon as affirmative action was lifted, that school was like, oh, okay, cool. We're not going to accept you now because affirmative action no longer exists.
Right.
So take your ass to NYU somewhere.
Right. Played yourself. Straight played yourself. All right, bro. That's all I got for my work, man. You good?
Yeah, man. I feel a lot better.
All right, man. Cool. You definitely got some things off your chest, man. I can see it in your face. I'm like, man, he needed to say that. It's all good. All right, y'all. Now we gonna move to 5 on the black hand side, our black movie review. And this week we chose Spike Lee's second film, School Daze.
Yes, sir.
Take it away, my brother.
All right, so School Daze. And first, I want to say something. I have re-listened to a lot of my responses during these 5 on the black hand side. I sound like an angry person. I'm not giving these movies a fair chance, nor am I being professional in giving a. Oh man, fuck all that.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Yeah. Nail it, bro. Nail it. Right. Nail it. So there's no excuse.
So School Daze came out in February of 1988. As my brother mentioned, it was Spike Lee's second full-length film.
Mm-hmm.
It was the studio was Columbia. And then of course, 40 Acres and a Mule Filmworks. The budget was $6.5 million. Did $14.5 million domestically. I don't have numbers international. Cast and crew.
Great cast.
Yeah. Spike Lee, writer, director, producer, actor. Ernest Dickerson, that's his name.
Okay.
The guy I was talking about that did Above the Rim.
Yes.
I was trying to remember his name yesterday. He created the visual palette of the film itself. Ruth Carter, also
legendary,
currently known as an Oscar winner for Black Panther.
For sure.
And of course, Spike Lee's father was the composer.
I didn't know that.
Neither did I.
That's cool. That's real cool, actually.
Yeah. So the plot of the movie, it's satire. It's a musical drama. It's at Mission College.
That's what I couldn't think, which is a play on Morehouse, but
Yeah, which is where Spike Lee went.
yes.
It's a fictional HBCU in Atlanta. It focuses on internal conflict within the Black community rather than conflict with the white establishment,
Mm-hmm.
which I guess I get it when I read it, but
For
then
sure.
before I read it, I was thinking, oh damn, that's right. It was a lot of internal conflict between, the wannabes and
Sure,
and the
sure,
jigaboos.
without a doubt, without a doubt. Yeah, that's crazy to call them the jigaboos, bro.
Yeah.
That's wild.
So the student body famously is divided by class and colorism.
Mm-hmm.
Tisha Campbell gets a lot of that flack when Black folks talk about that movie. It was like, well, just like on Martin, she was always the attractive, the smart, whereas
Mm-hmm.
Pam was dark skinned and wasn't valued as much. And of course, this generation, the current generation, recently tried to cancel Martin.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
But I digress. Some of the songs in this movie, from the butt to fight the power.
Sure.
Um,
Basically put EU on the map.
Yeah, until that map, fell off.
Oh no, they only had like 2 or 3 more songs after that.
Well, it was because it was that time. There was the DC go-go sound.
Yeah.
It was big at that time, and Spike Lee kind of like the in the Bay Area, the hyphy movement 10 to 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the same thing. What you got?
I'ma just yes, we sound angry about, and maybe we just need to pick some different movies. But yes, we slam a lot of these movies because they're just not good.
So my apologies. Let me add something else I completely
Oh, okay, go ahead.
So the cast. I started with it and I didn't finish. You had the fellas and you had the gappers.
Yeah.
So Lawrence Fishburne, back in those days, went by Larry. Don't call him Larry today if you run into him. It'll be a problem. Giancarlo Esposito
Was the leader of the Gammas.
Right. Played Julian. Oh, I forgot. Lawrence Fishburne's name was Dap Dunlap.
Mm-hmm.
Giancarlo Esposito was Dean Big Brother Almighty.
Almighty.
Spike Lee played Half Pint.
Yep. Which was Dak's cousin.
Right.
That he didn't want him to pledge.
Right. Tisha Campbell played Julian's girlfriend, so Giancarlo Esposito's girlfriend. He was, of course, the leader of the Gamma Rays. Kim played Rachel Meadows, Dap's girlfriend, and also an activist. Cast who got their starts around this time: Samuel Jackson,
correct.
Bill Nunn.
Even though you'll miss Samuel Jackson,
yeah,
blink.
Yeah, Bill Nunn, greatest.
Yeah.
Jasmine Guy, Kadeem Hardison.
Yeah.
Branford Marcellus.
Yes.
Ozzie Davis is Ozzie Davis. Joe Seneca was President McPherson.
Mm-hmm.
And then Daryl Bell, Big Brother X-Ray Vision.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Gosh, man. The light-skinned brother that's in all of the Spike Lee movies.
His face is like burned. Like
yeah, and I can't call his name for some reason. I know it's like Roger something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's in this. But yeah, I mean it's a great cast, y'all. And when you look back at it, it has a couple of laugh out loud moments.
Yeah.
And yes, the main plot is the conflict between the Black Greeks versus the conscious community. And it was like, why y'all pushing this black message? Don't nobody care. We trying to, be on this level. And they like, nah, y'all sellouts. Y'all ain't real. And it is, I mean, I guess it's a relevant argument, push and pull today. You had a lot of the sorority chicks. They got the long weaves and, trying to be all pretty. And then the other girls are the natural girls. And they like, we beautiful just the way we are.
Skit.
Yeah. So it's a lot of arguments that resonates to this day. But I the execution of the movie is just, like you said, it's just a song, a dance skit. They at the dance, they about to fight, they not about to fight. And it's just like, I'm just like, what's the real freaking point of this movie? To and I think this is somewhat autobiographical of Spike Lee's
Oh yeah.
college career, college life, whatever. But it is a lot of the movie is about him trying to get laid.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah.
It really was.
Yeah,
It really
and
was.
it's just like, no diss to Spike. No diss to Spike at all, but and this was a second movie, so of course you get better the more movies you do. I just don't quite get what he's trying to say with this movie, and you know, the screaming at the end, wake up. I wake up from what? I don't get what you're trying to say here, bro.
So I think it was kind of similar to, and of course this was, more comedic. Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking juice in the hood, where every single time Marlon Wayne said something,
Message.
here comes Keenan Ivory Wayans as the mailman talking about message. I think that a lot of the being a light skinned man, well, a teenager during these times, I experienced a lot of that bullshit.
And me being
And you
the
being dark
exact
skinned,
opposite.
yeah.
Yeah.
I experienced a lot of that. A lot of shit I kept to myself. But because if I had made a stink about it, some of my cousins would have been fighting whoever said this and said that. But I think that some of the social commentary was necessary, but I think the wake up, the constant, like, why is everything always a problem? Every God blessed day.
That's it right there.
But these are the things I used to tell the kids when they would come home. Dad, let me tell you what happened in school today. And they'll tell you now. Yeah, Dad would ask us, do y'all ever have a good day at school?
Right.
Is there always an issue
Right.
on the campus at your school?
Right. Right.
Because at this point, just drop out and stay home.
I mean, even when they got into the confrontation with Samuel Jackson them at the restaurant, and it's just like, now perhaps y'all just need to chill. Like, everybody ain't a sellout because they ain't on what y'all on. Like, just chill, man.
I could see that. I could see that completely.
Yeah, it's like cool out, man. It's like y'all kind of being. They were trying to force their idea of what being black is on everyone. And again, we did the podcast Blacks Are the Monolith. And it's like, man, why don't y'all just, and I'm not taking sides in this, right? But I mean, personally, I could never pledge to a fraternity. It's not my thing. If you do, great. To me, I'm not going to degrade myself so I can be cool with you. Not my bag. But if somebody else want to do it, cool. Like we were saying about networking. People say it's great for networking. Cool, whatever. If that's you, do you. On the flip side, if you super King Kong consciousness, like your boy would say, if you King Kong consciousness, that's cool too. But I don't want to hear that shit all the time, every day, all day.
Sharif.
Yeah, stay over there with it. Sometimes I might be in the mood to listen to you. Most of the times I'm probably not. Can't we all just be? You know what I'm saying? Look, I'm cool over here. You cool over there. If I see you, what's up? Keep it pushing. We ain't got to hang out.
And I'm not going to let nobody from the outside come in and mess with you.
Right.
I'm going to be with you.
Right.
Side by side.
Right.
But don't tell me that I'm not, that I'm less than.
Correct.
I'm not doing what you want to do.
Correct. And that's it right there. Because I'm not doing what you want me to do or what you think I ought to be doing. It's an issue. I'm not with that. I'm not with that ideology. I'm not with that type of mindset. Let people be them, man. And you know, the only time I feel like it's an issue is when it's time to get down, where you gonna stand?
Yeah.
Can I count on you or
Can I
not?
count? Yeah.
That's the only time it becomes an issue. Other than that, if you want to go be that type of dude, go be that type of dude. I'm gonna be this type of dude over here, or maybe I'm gonna be the dude in the middle. It doesn't matter. And I feel like it was just sort of a divisive movie.
Mhm.
On top of that, I just think the plot wasn't all that good. I'm just like, gosh, can you please do something else besides we go dance, we go fight, we go dance, we go fight, or almost fight, because nobody actually ever fought.
Right.
But we gonna go dance and then we gonna get into it. We're gonna go dance and we gonna go get into it. And it's like, y'all going to parties just to get into it with them? You know what I'm saying? It's like, so that was y'all main reason for going to the party, was to start drama with the other group. Y'all ain't going to have a good time no more. Y'all just going to start shit and make sure nobody else have a good time.
Yeah.
Man, later for all of
In
that,
the
man.
90s, we called that hating.
And in 2026 is
Well,
still hate.
that too. So I wanted to do something different this week. Now I want to talk about the things that this movie, what shifted the day-to-day lives of Black people
Mhm.
with this movie. I got 4 points. So before school days, most college movies were what? Ivy League or state schools.
Sure.
Animal House,
Sure.
for example. So this film made HBCUs look vibrant,
Yes.
complex, and cool. It's basically credited with helping bring a different world to life.
Correct.
Many of the cast members from School Days
Went straight to a different
went
world.
straight to a different world.
Yeah.
I know that during that time, a lot of Black people were pissed off at Spike Lee because they looked at it like he was airing dirty laundry. So showing the classism and colorism in the
Mhm.
Black community to a white audience was something that he got a lot of flack for. Of course, we were young, so we don't
Mhm.
remember that. But he got a lot of flack for that, because then it's one of those, see, we've been saying, see,
Mhm.
look how Black people fight
Mhm.
amongst each other.
Mhm.
The aesthetic of it all of us walked around with those HBCU hoodies on.
For sure.
We loved those, and they were thick.
For sure.
Which, by the way, they're back in style now. They're just like
Good.
$90 damn dollars.
Not good.
No. So that was the third. The fourth thing was the launch pad, which you mentioned in the beginning. Most of the people in this movie, at one point or another, have either been A-list
Correct.
Hollywood actors,
Correct.
or the person that you hire for a TV show
Correct.
before you look at somebody else.
Definitely launched a lot of careers.
Giancarlo Esposito
Correct.
alone
Correct.
is one of the greatest actors of our generation.
Correct.
And that dude, him and Jeffrey Wright, don't get enough credit
They don't.
for the range that they display
They don't.
in their, but I think this was definitely a Spike Lee, I'm gonna make this movie because this is what I went through, or this is what I see
Mhm.
or saw at a HBCU. So I think for people who were at an HBCU or graduate of an HBCU, I think that this movie resonated a lot more with them. I think it resonated with us a lot more in the early 90s when we watched it. As opposed to-
88, actually.
Well, I'm saying, like,
Oh, okay, I got you.
when we actually got a chance to really, really sit down and watch
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But
No, I feel you. I feel like not to just diss all the Black movies that came out around that time frame, but I kind of feel like, again, with The Last Dragon, it was sort of like we were just so excited
yeah,
to have representation.
yeah.
So we're just like, yeah. Looking back at it now, it's just like, ugh.
Look, I know it sounds like we bashing movies every week, and y'all probably cussing at us right now, but we're talking about these movies. We enjoyed them as kids.
Correct.
These movies were, if you ask me what my top 5 Black movies were in 1993, this would probably be in the top 2. Because Spike Lee he was on TV with Mike,
Right.
Mars Blackman.
Right.
I mean, he was on every Jordan commercial.
Correct.
Spike Lee was it.
Correct. Those commercials were great. They were awesome. And listen, y'all, listen. I like he got game.
Mhm.
I like Do the Right Thing.
Malcolm X.
I love Malcolm X. I like Inside Man. So this is not me just hating on Spike Lee. I just looking back at it, I just kind of didn't like this movie.
I think that you're in the same category as some of the civil rights activists at the time, when they were pissed at him for airing dirty laundry.
Well, I'm not. It wasn't the airing the dirty laundry part. Because if I'm gonna be honest, the movie that I'm probably most angry about was Chirac.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one where I felt like, bro, what you
And
doing?
so were a lot of people in the city too.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the movie where I was like, you so didn't need to air this laundry. But no, with School Days, I guess I just feel like there wasn't a cohesive story being told. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like I said, I just feel like more needed to happen with the plot. You know, yeah, I just kind of feel like it's a plotless movie, and I guess that's why I don't really like it, because I guess nothing really happened that was just like coincidental, or not coincidental, consequential. That's the word I was looking for. Nothing in the movie was consequential. What changed? What, you know what I'm saying? What did y'all accomplish? What did y'all move the needle forward? Like I just don't know what you were trying to accomplish other than getting paid and making your movie. And hey, with that, kudos, because I ain't got a movie out there. So
and the thing is too is like with the questions you're asking, I would love to hear his response to them, because I guarantee you he probably have answers that might make both of us say,
true,
you know what,
true.
I feel you on that.
That's true.
$6.5 million is all he got for that movie.
Hey, and like I said, success. Success that you got it made, and a success that you actually got a profit from it.
But here's where we agree. In 2026, it's a hard watch.
It is.
It was very, very difficult to get through the first 35 minutes.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
told you the other day, I ain't seen that movie in 20
Mhm.
years.
Mhm.
At least.
Mhm. Mhm. I remember I remember one day I came home and my daughter was watching it. I was just like, yeah.
Turn this shit off.
No, no, no. I'm like, no, go ahead and watch it. She like, is it good? And I'm like, just go ahead and watch it.
It was, in the
Yeah.
80s.
Yeah, I'm like, no, just go ahead and watch it. I'm not gonna taint your opinion of it. Go ahead and watch it. I don't know, bro. So with that being said, I'm not gonna completely dump on it. I'm gonna give it one high five on the black hand side.
I'm going to give it 2.5.
All right, cool.
Just because of the crew,
The cast.
the cast.
Okay, okay,
And the cultural
okay.
shift that this movie helped pave the way for.
All right, I'll give it 1.5 then.
Bet.
All right, cool. All right, y'all. Now it's time for our closing monologue. My brother, the floor is yours.
Appreciate it. So today I want to talk about masculinity.
Mm.
So in today's society, it makes no sense for us to live by the same rigid blueprints our parents and grandparents followed. We're still obsessed with the performance of manliness, a constant ironic race where in all honesty men are just trying to prove their worth to other men. Look at Caleb Williams, for example, quarterback of the Bears. He's been on the football field since he was 5 years old. If leading a franchise in the toughest sport on earth doesn't define manliness, then what the hell does? It's hypocritical to judge a man for painted fingernails when we've seen culture shifters, such as Lil Wayne, who had something to say recently, challenge those same norms for decades by wearing pink furry Ugg boots during a concert once. We keep bringing up gender norms as if they are the law, but they are not. They don't reflect the real world. I've lived that real world. Even as a married man, I changed as many diapers, cooked as many meals, washed as many loads of clothes as my wife at the time. We weren't following a man's role or a woman's role. We were a unit. We were a couple doing what was best for one another and for our family. It wasn't about gender norms, it was about partnership. And after that marriage dissolved, and the children were with me. I had 12-year-olds, I had a 6-year-old and a 5-year-old. I already knew how to do it all because I wasn't in a gender role. I was in the role of being a father. So I picked up the slack because I knew that's what I had to do on the things that matter. So to the parents listening, we have to stop teaching our young men that they need to behave a certain way or play a specific or rigid role in order for a relationship to work. A marriage doesn't progress because you follow the 1950s script. It works because you are a capable partner who views your family as a team. At what point do we finally realize that the things we were taught aren't facts? They're just old habits. We have to stop policing how men express themselves, start realizing that being a man is about the responsibility you take and the partnership you build, not whether you fit in a box that someone else built 50 years ago.
Excellent. I like unit. I like that. All right, y'all. That concludes this episode of For the Fam podcast, episode 18. We hope you guys enjoyed this conversation like we have enjoyed this conversation. Look, like I always say at the end of every podcast, we are everywhere on every platform. Give us a like, give us a share, subscribe, leave a comment, all the things that y'all already know how to do. We say it every week. We're going to continue to say it. All right. And with that being said, I'm 6 Mil, keeping it trill.
It's your boy KG.
And we'll holler at y'all next time. Peace.